at the Super Bowl. And this is the year where the Patriots are unbeatable. I mean, they have a perfect season. They are undefeated. So old Big Dick has 19-0 on his trunks there, or his underwear, as it were. This
Did
is
they win that game that year? Did they win the Super Bowl? They won it all?
The Giants beat the Patriots. They sure did.
Damn. So they didn't go undefeated.
They were undefeated up until the very last game. And a lot of people thought, hey, that's when they'll break the Dolphins record. It didn't happen. The Giants did it. But this is old school cheap heat. But it is a nice, I think you would call it, let me up segment. Fair to say?
And it was fun.
Yes.
Yeah, the audience something to get into, and everybody, look, everybody there in New York are passionate sports fans. This is like Philadelphia, man. They're very passionate, and New England had dominated everything. And again, the Patriots fans, listening and going, man, son of a bitch. But I think that probably 80% of football fans wanted the Jets to win, just so that the Patriots wouldn't have a perfect season. For no other reason.
We've got.
Do you know a Jets fan?
I do.
Wow.
Gary Vaynerchuk.
Okay.
He's the only one, though.
Okay.
Actually, he's going to kick his ass, of course, Big Dick Johnson, and run him out.
Okay, hang on. I'm going to tell you a story. So, the only Jets fan I really knew was Howard Finkel. And Howard loved the Jets.
Okay.
And I would go to football games because I like live sporting events, no matter really what they are. You go live, it's fun. I hate baseball, but I love to go to a live baseball game. Have a few beers, eat some hot dogs, yeah, the base. Tide roll, yay!
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Things like that. Which, by the way, I'm sorry about your coach. I didn't even realize, and I meant to send you a thing, man. What a fucking career, and what a way to go out for Nick Saban. Holy cow. I read it late, and I think you and I had an exchange, and you were grumpy. And
yes.
I realized why you were grumpy a couple days later.
Yes.
I'm on,
yeah, that explains it.
Saban retired. That explains a lot.
Yeah.
But holy cow, another guy, incredible deal. But Howard, I would go to the live games with him. He had his seats front row. We sat next to Vinny Pazienza's cousin. Google it. And front row on about the 10-yard line. Visitor side. Great, man. Again, it's just a great experience. However, it got to the point of just fear for my life. Because Howard would drive to the game, because I don't drive in New York. I'm not going to do it scared. Howard would drive in New York. And Howard had a little portable TV that was about maybe 6 inches, and he would plug that into the cigarette lighter and have like games on and be futzing with the antenna in the car. Yes, kids, cars didn't have cable back then.
They do now?
Nor, some do. Nor do they have satellite. And even if they did have satellite or cable, Howard wouldn't have paid for it. So he's futzing with the antenna on the top of the little TV and changing channels in between games while listening to other games on the radio and driving.
It's a lot of moving parts here.
And on the best day, Howard was a horrible driver.
Worse than Vince?
Vince is a good driver. He's just fast.
Okay.
He's just fast and dangerous. Howard's just terrible. So now we would get to the stadium, Okay. And Fink would get his coffee, a pretzel. Every once in a while, he might get a hot dog or something or whatever. And then he would grab like handfuls of the Gouldens mustard packets and put them in his jacket or whatever.
He's keeping mustard on him.
He's holding mustard.
Okay.
And we would make our trek down and, say our hellos to the people around, the other season ticket holders and stuff. And Fink would drink his coffee and he would have his TV between his legs, watching games. People huddled around, and he messing with the antenna and changing channels. He had his transistor radio.
Wow.
And he's listening to shit and watching all this stuff. And he would eat his pretzel, put his mustard on the pretzel. And then during the day, during the game, would dig in the pocket and take out the mustard packet and suck the mustard out of them. Just like bite one end of it and then suck the mustard out of the.
So he didn't put it on his food. Yeah. He just put it in his mouth.
He put it on the pretzel.
Okay.
But dude, we're talking handfuls of these that he would like extras. Extras. I mean, one pretzel, maybe 2 packets. You really like mustard? But he like sucked the mustard packets dry. And we I'm like, what the? But you think about that for a second. You're at Jet Stadium. And people are going in there and they're sticking their hands in there to get their mustard out for their hot dog or their pretzel or their whatever. And Howard sticks his hands in there, and Howard's hands weren't always the cleanest. And he was sucking the mustard out. And I mean, very few times I've really ever, just naturally gagged. And that would make me like, oh, God. Every time he would just, because it's just the absolute filth. And then one time we're sitting there and they had it wasn't a rain delay, but it was raining. And I mean, when I say it was raining, the skies had opened up and it's fucking pouring down. It's like just they were dumping buckets of water. And there is not a soul anywhere in the stadium, in the open stadium. Everybody is huddled up, on each mezzanine or on each level under some kind of cover. There were 2 people that were sitting in their seats on the front row at the 10-yard line. And it's raining so goddamn hard that Howard and we had to put our feet up because the river of water was probably at least a foot running underneath us. It's raining so hard. Now we're wearing those, the hoodie things, the ponchos. And Howard has his TV underneath the poncho watching something. I guess another game or whatever, because I couldn't see because he had it under there and he had his head under there. And so the breath and it was all fogged up. So I couldn't see shit. And I'm just looking around thinking, what the fuck am I doing here? Why am I here with him? There's no reason for me to, but that's what I say, if you knew a Jets fan. Jets fans are crazy, man. Howard was crazy. They would bless their heart. That was some of the absolute most fun I ever had, was those kind of excursions with the Fink, because he had shortcuts, he had his quirks, he had his ways, and I loved him to death. And it was some of the most fun, but crazy. Like, who sucks mustard packets? Who brings a TV, transistor radio, and everything else in a poncho and watches and listens while not another soul other than the idiot you brought with you is in the stadium? Like, not even, there's nobody on the field like pushing. There's nobody. And there's like, what, 50,000 people there. Two. We're sitting in their seats in the front row.
Yeah.
So like, it couldn't even be, oh, well, they're sitting in their seats, man, up, up maybe over the overhang. Maybe they're not getting rained on that much. No, there was no protection. And we had a tsunami running underneath us.
Is that your last time going with Howard?
I love the thing.